Good evening. Welcome on the State of Business on Art Television with me, Kavishka Pereira. Let's take a look at today's main stories. R&D is important for export growth, says Indira Malwatta.
Several emerging economies, including China, have come forward because of the R&D.
Sri Lanka ranked as world's best travel destination in 2019 by Lonely Planet.
Asia Pacific is a region that most people travel. Therefore, your recognition.
News in detail. The 31st CEO Network Forum, organized by Art Television under the theme Sri Lanka, an export hub driven by innovation and investment, was held in Colombo this morning, featuring the chairperson and chief executive of the Export Development Board of Sri Lanka, Indira Malwatta, as the keynote speaker. While delivering her keynote address, Indira Malwatta expressed the following views regarding the importance of research and development in relation to exports and how important it is in overall trading.
If you see what is going on around, several emerging economies, including China, particularly have come forward because of the R&D, which has played a very key role in their development progress. So all those have taken off because of R&D. Our spend on R&D is very, very minimal in our country. But there are a number of reasons why it is so. And now we have the opportunity to get into it because we have these developing, they say in 2030, the largest middle class is going to be in East Asia and Southeast Asia. So we have to take advantage of the fact with these economies developing, Sri Lanka has to plug into the global value chain, those opportunities that are available with their development, Sri Lanka has to develop along with them.
Tune into our television this Sunday at 8:30 p.m. for the exclusive telecast of the 31st CEO Network Forum held today. Sri Lanka has been named the best country in the world for travelers to visit in 2019 by the world-leading travel authority Lonely Planet in its Best in Travel 2019. This was announced in Colombo recently. Better transport links, new hotels and a growing number of activities were cited as some of the reasons the South Asian island was chosen for the top spot in the guidebook publisher's annual Best in Travel awards. Best in Travel is Lonely Planet's highly anticipated annual collection of the finest travel destinations, trends, journeys and experiences to have in the year ahead. Over the past 13 years, Lonely Planet has set the travel agendas for the next 12 months with the annual release of Best in Travel. Speaking at the event, the Minister of Tourism Development and Christian Religious Affairs, John Amaratunga, made the following remarks.
Asia Pacific is a region that most people travel. We are within that ring. Therefore, your recognition, Sri Lanka as the best travel destination, will undoubtedly boost our tourism figures, which we count now. I think probably we are coming into the best months of attracting tourists. That is from October, November, December, January. With this news, I think the numbers of people who like to look for destinations will choose Sri Lanka and they'll continue to come here. Of course, of recent times, we have now got off the ground for the digital marketing program. It's now, I think, in operation, and at the same time, the global marketing is also to take place somewhere towards the end of the year. And a lot of new things are coming up. And to that, the fact that you have chosen Sri Lanka as the best destination is undoubtedly going to give a big boost for our tourism industry. So Sri Lanka is a country now which is looking at tourism as one of the best foreign exchange earners. No doubt that they are about the third place, but in the near future, particularly our Prime Minister is very keen that Sri Lanka should be able to record the highest amount of foreign exchange earnings to the country through tourism. There are many new openings that are coming in, more particularly in the transportation. Highways are being developed from the capital to the hill country. Already the highways are there in the southern part, so that anyone who comes to Sri Lanka move on in search of different attractions. There is a complaint that there are too many hotels coming up in the city of Colombo. I think I have also had a discussion with the Prime Minister, and he also feels so. He said we will sit down and see how best we could bring out some controls and have attractions in the other parts of Sri Lanka. So similarly, next year we will have a better outcome in our programs in order to attract more and more tourists to come into this country.
Stay tuned for more news after this short commercial break. Welcome back. Convening a press briefing in Colombo today, the Tiles and Sanitary Ware Importers Association expressed their concerns with regard to the production taxes enforced upon the tile and sanitary ware imports in Sri Lanka.
There is over 110% import duty plus other taxes that has been given as protection and that has been levied upon the importers of tiles and sanitary ware. So there is a 110% protection there. On top of it, we are not in a level playing field. If we go to court for a government tender project, the importers and the local both will compete. Now, why I say it is not level playing field, the local industry is protected there as well. In the tender, government tender document itself specifies that if the importer is less than 20% of the local manufacturer in the tender, the local manufacturer will get. That meaning the government projects will pay 20% in excess of the quotation that we make for the government tender. So that is the second protection that has been given to the local industry. Now with all this, we have been never clamoring or complaining about the protection that has been going on. But now there is a lobby from the local manufacturers to increase this. Now while we appreciate and we value the local industry as Sri Lankans, and also as a responsible import chamber, we would like to say that excess protectionism is not good for Sri Lanka and not good for the industry. It is our belief that if you cannot compete to globally competitive rate, that you are not going to export from Sri Lanka in any industry. Now what has happened today is that protectionism has given the local manufacturers the cover to become inefficient. They have never become efficient to export because they cannot compete to the global standards or globally competitive market. And as a result of that, we are getting stagnated. Now, this is the issue that we as a responsible chamber would like to place upon you, that if there is excess protection, that it is detrimental to the Sri Lankan economy. We should open out. We should put the local manufacturer also in the same race, in the same platform with the local international industry. Then our local talent will come up and we will start exporting and our economy will start growing. Now as a result of this excess protectionism, what has happened today is that even the local manufacturers have started importing from outside Sri Lanka.
Speaking further, the president of TSIA, Kamil Hussain, emphasized the fact that they do not intend to penalize the local manufacturers, but the relevant authorities should comprehend the negative impact that the country and the consumers will experience if taxation is further increased for imports in order to protect the local manufacturers.
This industry is highly energy consuming industry, and today even to local manufacturers there is a fuel subsidy that is given to manufacture, and still they keep on complaining. But on the other hand, if you scrutinize their balance sheets and the financial, they make a huge profit. We are not against that. But the issue that we have is that who is paying for this? It is the end user. It is a consumer who wants to build a house, have to pay additional 110% as a result of protecting just 3 people in Sri Lanka. There are 3 local industries and all of them make substantial profits because of this protectionism. So I must also tell you that this industry also has to be regulated because of the environment pollution. If you look at India and Sri Lanka, India and China, who are the main manufacturers of tiles and sanitary in the world, today China has taken up and put regulations to monitor and govern the tiles and sanitary manufacturing industry. The reason is that you need to bring the clay. You need to burn this clay at a very high temperature. And as a result of that, there is huge environment pollution. This industry is good for a large country like China. But a country like us, who are also banking on the tourism industry, we need to have our ecosystem perfectly to attract the tourism industry aspect. So it is our contention that this is not a good industry for a smaller country like Sri Lanka. If the industry, the tiles and manufacturing industry in Sri Lanka is good for the country, and if it is an efficient industry, within our importers itself, there is over 20 people who would like to invest in Sri Lanka and put up a fact. But why we don't want to do it, we know because of the nature of our country and because of non-availability of raw materials, we cannot manufacture tiles and centrevia in an efficient way. We will always be higher than India or China.
Worth Lanka Private Limited collaborated with KfW Germany, a member of the KfW banking group, recently to create skilled and economically independent craftsmen in Sri Lanka by empowering them as technipreneurs. The Asia Society for Social Improvement and Sustainable Transformation is the implementation partner for this project. Addressing the launch ceremony of the new project, the Managing Director of Worth Lanka Private Limited, Rohan Amirthia, made the following remarks.
In Sri Lanka, we call our technical or maintenance specialist, in Sinhala, for example, we say Basunne. But we compare this to Europe, these craftsmen, example, electricians, plumbers, fitters, mason, these are all highly esteemed jobs, professional jobs, because they have gone through technical skills, they are certified, qualified, and they are, most of the time, they are at the level of doctors, engineers, lawyers as a professional job. But in Sri Lanka, unfortunately, the esteem of these people is not there. And this leads to problems like most of these qualified, skilled people leave the country and find jobs outside, number one. Number two, if we don't consider them at a professional level, then we don't pay them the right amount for their job. And when you don't pay them, they also don't do a quality job. So we see this gap in Sri Lanka. And finally, you can see outside in the Colombo city and suburbs, buildings are coming up at a rate. Within the next 2 to 3 years, there will be a high demand of such professional maintenance people. It's already there is a big gap of such professional technical craftsmen. So our project is very simple. We are doing this as a pilot project. How can we upskill young, already in the job, these so-called labor certified unskilled professional into an entrepreneur, but teaching them the right skills, the right customer front qualities and skills, and whether we can create them as a little business. And then they will go to the customers and give them the quality job, and then they can charge them the right price. So this is a 360-degree project where we also will then tie them up to a marketing program where they will have steady jobs coming from these high-rise buildings and factories wherever the requirement is.
Let's take a short break. Stay tuned for stock updates after this. Welcome back. Trading at the Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The all-share price index dropped 1.98 points to close at 5,768.54, and the S&P SL 20 dropped 4.58 points to close at 2,927.65. The turnover was 1.2 billion rupees and 13.8 million shares were traded. Next up is Forex rates. That's all the news we have for today. Join us tomorrow at the same time for more of the very latest. Thank you and good night.